Okay, I promise. Now I see.
Are you sure?
Now I see the red thing.
Wait,
Yep.
the folks in the studio just told me we're not live.
We just did about a 15-minute show that was really, really good.
Oh, it was gold. It was solid gold.
Guys, thanks for having me. It's
Yeah,
a great
it was
day.
great
Take care,
having
guys.
This is Average Joe's Gaming Podcast Special Edition.
Yeah. So we're chanting with Frankie here.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Joe.
I'm Tom. And
Hi.
this is Frankie. Now we know
From
we just
Old
heard,
Skool Rippers and Balls.
Yep. Which is a food truck
Yes.
in Sioux Falls.
Amazing food truck.
Yep.
Which, like I said earlier, but you guys weren't here. So it's my favorite restaurant, hands down. It's the Sicilian rice balls are out of this world. The cherry pepper mashed potatoes. I mean, I could just take a gallon of those. It'd be great. And then the Rippers, like the Luca Brazzi, the Guma, the Godfather.
And a little tidbit before we go into the Luca Brazzi, obviously,
Yep.
Luca
Godfather, yeah.
Yeah, I named my son Luca.
Oh, wow.
So I essentially named my son after
A character in the Godfather.
an assassin.
There you go.
That's out there now.
So
It's there.
once again, it's a food truck called Old Skool
Jerseys.
Rippers and Balls. We figured out balls is rice balls.
Yeah. Sicilian rice balls.
Yes, I was curious as to what a ripper is.
So Ripper is the kind of dog and brat that we use in our truck. We use a 100% all beef natural casing dog that we get out of Chicago. And then we use a beer broiler natural casing as well.
Okay.
And then we deep fry those guys in peanut oil. And then that makes the skin rip. So
That's
the
what
name
I
Ripper.
kind of figured. I'd heard of it before, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, and then like I said, in Jersey, they have a few places that we used to frequent. Ron and myself. Some in his neighborhood, some in my neighborhood that kind of do this. So it's not everywhere, but there's definitely a good staple of places that do these deep fried dogs. And there's different variants that we haven't done ourselves. Like some people will ask for a cremator. Hey, let me get a cremator. So that's when you get that dog and you just let that thing burn.
Oh, wow.
And I had a guy actually that came to one time we were out. He's like, "Oh, let me get a cremator." I'm like, "Cremator?" I'm like, "Where are you from, man?" And the guy's like, I'm from Jersey." So it was kind of cool seeing that.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to
That's
get somebody from your area in a small area like this.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Are we that small?
well, we are not.
I mean,
Both of you
two
and
of
I
us are larger
We're
than
large, yeah, but the area we're in essentially is, yes, small.
Okay, fine. I mean, I
Compared
suppose Jersey's not that big, though, is it?
I mean,
It's packed with people.
and that's the thing. It's not a massive, size wise, but it's packed. Like for example, like Bergen County, the county I lived right before I moved here. That county has over 1 million people, and it has like 3 area codes.
Wow.
it's a lot,
Yeah,
and that's part of the reason why we moved here. We get that many people and gain that traffic everywhere. Just people moving in and then building. It got a little too much for us. We just kind of wanted a change, and that's why we're here.
You like it here?
Yeah, we do. We love it here. It's a little bit colder, a little bit windier.
Well, that's what I was curious. Like, what's the climate difference between Jersey and here?
See, in Jersey, here you don't have the 4 seasons. Here you kind of
No,
go.
we've got 2.
Yeah, and
Well, three if you
hot and
count
cold.
road, 3 if you count road construction.
Yeah. But then the thing too, when people would say to me when I first moved here, they would say, "After the 4th of July, get ready, summer's over." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" They're like,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, it kind of right after the 4th of July, the temperature slowly starts kind of.
Slowly? Really? I mean, that
yeah.
next day, I
I'm an optimist. What can I say?
think. So slowly through the night.
Right.
It just burns.
Right.
It's technically nice through most of August.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Most of August. I've been here all my life.
it just the thing for me that gets me is
I
how
just
it ends.
realized
It
that you're
ends.
senile.
Not yet. Getting there, but not yet.
We're in the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Tom.
So, but the main difference is in Jersey and the New York area, since you're by the water, you get more snow.
Okay.
You get a lot more snow than here. And it gets hotter, in the summertime. But the thing difference is not but snow. Then over there they push it and they block you. It's just it becomes a nuisance. Here they pick it up. Here it's like snow is like 10 inches. Like business as usual. Nothing happens.
We're just gonna plow it away
And take it away,
up
and take it away.
over somewhere, yeah, into some big parking lot where maybe
Right, and in New Jersey, New York, it's almost like they're doing you a favor. It's like, I'm plowing your street, so I'm going to just block your driveway. Take
Oh, yeah.
that.
So are people nicer here then?
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, there are a few of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nice people everywhere. It's just over
Yeah.
there, it's a lot of very fast pace. Everybody's kind of just in blinders, kind of just
We're
doing their
practically
thing.
Canadian.
we're north enough. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it feels like we're in Canada.
Yeah,
most of the time.
sometimes it does in the winter. Yep. For
Well,
sure.
Canadians probably think this is like mild.
Yeah,
we have
probably.
here in South Dakota. So. Hello, Canada.
We're the hippies down south.
Hope you're yeah.
We're the warm climate hippies.
Well, I know for a fact we have viewers in Scotland and England.
Very nice.
But, and I think we've seen some from other European countries. So.
Yep.
Cool.
We got a few in Russia. We've got some in
Norway, I thought.
China.
Mastrovia.
Yep.
There you go.
Norway. And
Cool.
how many languages do you speak, man?
I know all the drinking stuff. When I used to work in restaurants and bars, so
Okay.
kinda, you know how to cheer and all different kind of.
Nice.
That's about it. So we can kind of play it off for like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Why don't you tell
exactly.
us, or well, you can tell us again because I like hearing stories. Why don't you tell them, like, what is the transition? How did you come from Jersey to Sioux Falls?
Yeah. So basically, I met a friend of mine. He's from South Dakota, Michael, and he lived in the East Coast. And he actually met my wife first. She used to be in the industry. He used to work in a bar as well. And she said, "Oh, you're gonna get along with my boyfriend." We were married at the time. So we met. We hit it off right away. He would tell me he was from here. He's like, "Oh, South Dakota. You should come check it out." Whatnot. I knew nothing about it. Mount Rushmore. That's pretty much it. You're pretty ignorant when.
Yeah,
That's
When,
most people.
that's-
That's all they know.
that's what we have.
Yep, that's it.
And walleye. Come on, walleye.
Okay.
Delicious,
True,
delicious.
true.
So.
And pheasants. We have pheasants.
Oh yeah, that's right. We do great pheasants. And then he ended up moving back, and then we stayed friends, and we were just kind of discussing things. When you're kind of kicking it, we used to say to each other, "Hey, one day we're gonna open a bar, we're gonna open a restaurant." So it was all like a talk and just we were vacationing one time, and he said, "Hey, listen, I have an idea. I have a place I want to open in Sioux Falls, and I have the chef, I have the location, and I kind of want you to come here with your wife, move to Sioux Falls, and come help us out." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Move to South Dakota?" He's like, "Come visit. Tell me what you think." So we came in January.
Oh, good timing. Good time.
Lovely weather, but we liked it. We liked the people. We liked the downtown area. We thought it was, an up and coming city. And I don't know. Everybody kept telling us it's a great place to raise a family. It almost felt like a script. I'm like, what's going on here? Everybody was saying the same thing. So I said, it's got to be true.
So have you gotten, now that you've lived here long enough, have you gotten the script for when other people come?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Great place to raise a family.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we moved here at the beginning of 2015, and we haven't looked back.
Nice.
This is our home. So
That's very cool.
Good.
it's cool here. We like it.
So what was the restaurant that you guys were
Oh, yeah. So yeah, Ode to Food and Drinks.
Okay.
Right on Sharapa Place there in downtown. So we did that.
Oh, okay.
Chef Bob from San Francisco, he was the food part, and I was kind of like the drinks part. So we kind of had a Bloody Mary bar. We had all those kind of things.
Wow.
We do wine dinners, all kind of stuff, beer dinner. So we had a lot of fun. It was good times. It's a great restaurant. Great people. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Been there, so.
I had heard about that. Never made it down there.
Sure.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, Chef Bob is a great chef, and he gets really creative with it.
Is that still going on right now?
Yeah,
Really?
for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
He was the one who taught me how to make risotto.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he makes an amazing
Wow.
risotto. So working back there with him, he taught me how to, basically
Get
how to strain that thing.
Stir until you're tired of stirring.
Yeah, pretty much strain until your arm falls off. So
Jeez.
yeah, good times.
So what is growing up in Jersey like? When did you move there?
So I moved to New Jersey from Chile, South America, in 1991. And I moved to Union City, New Jersey. Union City, New Jersey was a very Italian and like German town. When I moved there, was a kind of like transitioning. So you will see there was a lot of Teamster presence there. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Irishman.
Oh, yeah.
This is where I nerd out, so you
Yeah.
just be quiet.
No, I'm one of my favorite things too.
Yeah. So in The Irishman, they talk about Jimmy Hoffa has his arch enemy. He's from Union City, so that kind of happened there. So it had like that little basis. So it was a really cool neighborhood because you had a little bit of diversity. You had this Hispanic side that was kind of up and coming, but then you still had the old school like Italian delis and a little bit of German still, there. So it was a really cool, diverse area that I kind of grew up in, that I got to taste all different kinds of food, all different kinds of cultures. So, all the way from, you have all different kinds of, Hispanics, you have all different cultures, all different food. Then I had friends that were Muslim, and then I had friends who were of Indian and Korean. So you have a really cool melting pot of nationalities and food, which is nice.
That's very cool.
And you've always been interested in doing food for.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be in film, believe it or not. I went to film.
Tell me that.
I went to film school, yeah, and I worked in film for a few years. So I started kind of working in the restaurant business because it would help with my schedule in college and shooting schedule.
Sure.
If I had a movie I was going to go shoot, I needed 2 weeks off, then I can just say to my manager, hey, listen, I need to be gone for 2 weeks. Is that cool? And then it was super flexible. So that's how I kind of got started. And I started in an Outback, believe it or not. Third busiest Outback in the country, baby. That's right. So 3150, baby, representing. So that's how I met my wife. I met her through that, we both came from the Outback world. So, and then it just kind of took me in, I started bartending.
Well, that explains the Australian accent he has.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
totally.
drink a lot of Foster's, in Canada, that kind of deal. So, we started that way, and I started bartending, and I just kind of fell in love with the drinks part, and then the food came along, and then one by one, it just kind of started clicking, and then this is my life.
So how did you meet your partner?
Well, Ron is my wife's mother's husband, so her father-in-law,
Okay.
her stepdad.
Okay.
Sorry for
Your father-in-law, basically.
my father-in-law, yes. And he was the one who came up with the idea. So this is right around, COVID lockdown. We're at home just kind of scratching the walls, just going nuts. And they were kind of coming over and stuff,
If it's at Tom's house, it's cats.
It is cats.
You have cats?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I got
How many you got?
3.
Yeah, who's your favorite?
They're all my favorites.
It's the three-legged one.
Yeah, the three-legged one. But they're all my favorites. They all have their own personalities.
They're watching this
They
right
all
now.
have, they are. So I have to be political. No, they all have their own personalities. But anyway, continue with your story. It's much more interesting than my cat story. I'm telling you right now.
I lost my train of thought. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
which part were we talking about?
Welcome to Average Joe's Gaming
Sorry,
Podcast,
the
by the
cat
way.
thing threw me off.
Yeah. Oh no. Welcome. To the podcast.
Oh yeah, Ron. Sorry.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
follow.
I'm back.
There we go. We're back on
So yeah, so COVID, right? Us, stretching the walls.
Cats, yeah.
That's how we got there. So,
Yeah.
so he goes to me one day. He goes, "Listen, I want to get a permit to sell dogs, like a hot dog cart." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I want to do like dogs like back home. I want to deep fry them like Rippers." So I'm like, "Oh, cool." So he goes, "Can you help me? Kind of get this stuff kind of going?" So I said, "Yeah, for sure. I can help you out. I've opened a few restaurants in my time." And then as we start kind of talking about it, and we kind of just start getting into a flow, we start synergizing a little bit. It's like, well, we can do a cart. We need something bigger. Then we do this, and then from then on, we just kind of started talking, and we got so involved. And then next thing we know, it's like, wow, this is really, really cool.
Well, and it was right around the time. Well, food trucks have started to become a big thing here in just the last probably 4 or 5 years, too.
Right.
Sioux Falls, anyway. So I think you picked the right time to do it.
Yeah, and it felt right. See, after I left Ode, I opened the Bologna Stone, and then I opened Rome Kitchen and Bar as well. And after I left Ode, I kind of, wanted to do my own thing again. I just didn't either, it wasn't, the time wasn't right, or I just didn't have the courage. Sometimes, it's hard to just say, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So Ron kind of gave me that little spark. So when he started saying about the dogs, I kind of got all these ideas, and then next thing you know, it's like, you want to do this together, and then we just kind of, made it into our own. He had the Rippers idea, we kind of went from there, and then, I had the rice bowl idea, and then we kind of just went through that, and then we just started tweaking our recipes, and not trying to make it too complicated, but still good quality food. And
Yeah, you have a very straightforward menu.
Yep.
And you have make your own Ripper.
Yep.
But you've got these few that are just right there, and those are the keystone items. And it's simple, but it's elegant. It's just,
Thank you.
It's everything you need right there, staring at you.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, we're not trying to recreate the wheel. We're not trying to, do anything outlandish. We want to do 2 things. We do Rippers and we do balls, and we want to do good quality and
Lemon bars.
And the lemon bars. Well, and listen, sorry, I forgot the lemon bar. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you.
That's something I would eat. It would be a lemon bar. That sounds
nice.
really good. So.
Yeah, I barely make it into the office, and then I got to get my lemon bar away because Sally, she's just looking all by herself, sad, and give her that lemon bar, and it gives her purpose.
Who's Sally?
Sally is my boss's mom.
Oh, okay.
She works in the office, so
you got to feed her lemon bars.
She loves your lemon bar. She would kill for them, actually.
I believe that. I've met Sally.
Don't give her my address. So yeah, like I said, our goal is to bring a little Jersey into South Dakota.
Well, that's it. That's the other thing. It's something unique to South Dakota. It's unique in the food truck industry in Sioux Falls. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I've seen a couple of fish places. I've seen a lot of Mexican and other foods on food trucks, but I've not ever heard of anything like what you guys serve. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, and the theme. I mean, the theme had me right off.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a bunch of food trucks when we were getting ready for grand opening. I mean, back in February, really, when I started planning all this stuff. And this guy was the only one that got back to me right away. Like, just, let me look at my schedule. And then he figured it out. And like, okay, we're available that Monday. And then I had one bail on me. And then he's like, let me look at my schedule. Let me see what we can do. Okay, we're super booked that day, but I'm going to go ahead and work that Saturday. So he's going to be here on the Saturday of our grand opening, which is awesome. I mean, who does that? So workaholic too.
So I was going to say, even if you're not a gamer, and we hope you are, you can come in and see the store and you can get some rippers and balls.
Oh yeah. So I thought that was super awesome.
Yeah, it is really awesome.
And that's totally customer service. Obviously, I mean, I'm just going to be at your food truck all day.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And then I think you said you had a wedding that night, so I'll be there too.
We have a wedding.
I think you said plus one.
You want to catch the wedding? Yeah, for sure we can make that happen. Sorry, Shannon and Ryan.
He said he's got the balls there, so that's where I've got to be. So.
Listen, and the main thing is, whether we're talking gaming or we're talking food, the biggest thing for me is the hospitality aspect, the relationship aspect, the talking to people. Half the people, not even half, 90% of the people that come to our truck don't know what they're looking at. They don't.
No.
And that is perfect because I can go in and I can chat with you and I can, we can kind of get to know each other and I can tell you about the food. I can have that, one-on-one with people. And I love that. I'm a chatty Cathy. If you haven't noticed, I like to talk.
So
it works out great.
Any indication of that at all? Yeah. No,
so it's great. I love that interaction. Like I said, it goes hand in hand. So I'm honored to be in your grand opening, guys. And great to meet you.
And you were at our last event.
I was.
Never Tea.
I was.
So you were there for the end, and you're going to be there for the beginning. So that's a big deal.
We're honestly really honored to have you there as well.
Thank you.
To serve our folks and your folks and kind of make the two meet. So maybe if you're a real fan of good food, you'll become a fan of games. And if you're a fan of games, you'll become a fan of really good food. So
it's a win-win.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Exactly. So.
It was kind of funny because you talked about like you going up there and not really knowing what you're looking for. So after I confirmed them, so it was like a couple months after that, and I finally got off work early enough, and I saw on their live feed that they were over on like 49th and Saratoga. And I'm like, perfect, because this is on my way home. I mean, it's a little out of the way, but it's worth it for me.
Yeah.
And so I went there, and I'm just looking. I'm like, okay, I'm reading all this stuff. I'm like, okay, well, Godfather, because I like all the ingredients there. And then I think I went with the Luca Brazzi, and everything looked good there. And then I was like, what are these Sicilian rice balls? Like, I'm not a huge fan of rice. I mean, I like Mexican rice.
Sure.
But white rice.
Right.
But I was like, all right, they look good. And so I ended up getting 4 of those because I got 2 for my wife and 2 for me.
Was this by any chance on a Friday right before we did our podcast? And I walked into the room and went, what is that smell?
Yep. And I said, none of your business.
Stay away from the food.
So I got that, and my wife is extremely picky when it comes to anything. Like, if
she's
I would have told her what was
she's
in
an
it, she would have
amateur.
stuck her nose up. I'm like, I'm not eating that. But I just said, I want you to try this. Just try a bite because it's awesome, and this is my kind of food. And she ate a bite, and she ate the whole Godfather.
Yeah,
I didn't eat any of it.
I believe she was in.
And then she ate 2 of the balls, and I'm like, I had 2 of them. I was like, I kind of wanted more.
I mean, that is our most popular combo. People get the Godfather and they get the balls.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's
a nice ripper and a pair of balls. That's all you need, baby. And a lemon bar to take you down.
So who's the gal that works your front register?
So I have, like I said, I still keep in touch and I have good relations with our friends at Rome Kitchen and Bar.
Okay.
So I utilize a lot of my former staff and servers that I had then. So it's great to have that support because they're great people. They're awesome, and like I said, it's they help me out a lot. So.
Well, the night I stopped by, it was super busy. There was people waiting all over. It must have been just like hey, it's supper time. We're running to this truck. Because there was cars lined up on the side, and then I think right across the street there must have been something going on, like the field or something.
Yeah.
Because there was just cars lined up, and you could tell people were just like, The Rippers coming. And you and Ron were back there just busting your butts. And so I talked to her and I was like, yeah, you guys are coming out to my event in this date. And she's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
And then you're just back there just like slinging your stuff. And
Yeah, no, we got fun out there. And like I said, you know, we've had Taylor help us out too, Lisa, you know, Sharika, Samuel, you know, it's good people. My wife helps us out every once in a while. So it's the whole thing. We want to have fun with this as well.
No,
You do all of your cooking in the truck then?
Yeah.
Everything's cooked in the truck?
Everything, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. How much do you go through in a day when you're at an event?
See, since we, you know, our size, we're limited to what we can, you know, do. So, you know, and plus, you know, the stuff that we do, we just don't bring it out of the bag and fry it. You know, there's a lot of prep. So we can prep, you know, for maybe like 3 days straight.
Okay.
The most.
Wow.
And that's kind of pushing it. That's like with a full truck, like just and coolers kind of backing us up. But yeah, you know, we like to keep it fresh, rotate the product. It's something that we can't really keep, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing that, you know, like I said, it's, you know, process will be the dogs, obviously,
Yeah.
and the brats, but everything else, it's.
But you
homemade.
prepare those all there once
Oh, for sure.
it's
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But you make the rice on site and
Yeah,
all
we
those.
make everything on the ball. So
they did a really awesome video at Mini Critters. And you got to see them doing this.
Is that on Facebook or
Yeah.
YouTube or something? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look for it.
yeah, Ryan from Mini Critters has been a huge supporter of ours. You know, he kind of gave us our first start when we first got going, and
Nice.
yeah, he's a really cool guy. He actually met, you know, through Ron, because Ron has dogs, so he will go there, and we just kind of.
Hey, Tom has cats.
I do. I have mentioned in the past, and a lot of you might know this, I'm a very, very picky eater. There's more stuff. If you ask, do I eat that? I'll probably tell you no. Honestly, it boils down to cereal, toast, corn on the cob, raw carrots, apples, oranges, grapes. I don't eat any meat, not at all. But I absolutely am.
They have a vegetarian
fascinated.
ripper, don't
I don't
you?
like any of the
Bambini.
vegetables. I guarantee I don't like
The
any of the
Bambini.
vegetables.
But wait, hold on. Let's wait. I'm curious about this now.
Okay.
Hold on. You wake up, you brush your mustache, you brush your teeth,
Yep.
right?
In that order.
So what are we eating for breakfast?
Nothing, because I go right to work. I'll get a cup of coffee and I'll have maybe a Pop-Tart at the office.
Okay, and then lunch. What's like a normal
I'll
lunch?
stop at McDonald's, get a couple orders of French fries, or
And then
I'll
brush his
stop
mustache.
Yep, or I'll stop at Bagel Boy and get a couple of bagels, or I'll bring a bread and butter sandwich from home with some potato chips and milk.
So you never say like, man, I'm really craving like some carnitas
Nope.
tacos right now.
I
I'm really craving some like Indian food right now.
no, not at all. From
Both
the
of them
age of
meat.
about 8 years old, maybe a little younger than that, 7 or so, I stopped eating meat altogether.
Really?
And I suspect, and this is the thing.
Now out of respect?
Well,
or-
okay, no, because I grew up I always tell people, I grew up in South Dakota. I know what a pig and a cow are for. I know what they're for. But I think as a 7 or 8 year old, I think most kids go through a phase where they realize the cow is just like my pet dog or my pet cat. And I don't want to eat my pet dog or my pet
I was
cat.
the opposite
So I'm
because I
not
tried
gonna-
to.
Well, so I'm not going to eat a cow or a pig, and then they smell bacon and go, yeah, I'm going to eat bacon again.
I actually had a pet cow.
And if bacon is good, I might as well eat.
Yeah.
I might as well eat a
Go.
steak. So my brother's exactly the opposite of me. He'll eat almost anything you put in front of him. I grew up in the 70s, so it was kind of nice for my folks. They didn't have to buy me expensive meat and stuff like that. I would.
You're a cheap date.
I was, and I still am to this day.
Yeah, it still is, yeah.
I'll put out for the smallest amount. So anyway,
Avocado toast.
exactly. No, I don't like
Not even
avocados.
what? You don't like avocado?
But you put
Who
butter.
doesn't like avocado?
I don't.
It's so good. It's
Is it
creamy. It's
ingredients in
delicious.
guacamole?
Yes.
It's a texture thing. But my theory is I never got past that phase. Most other people get past that phase. And so I haven't eaten meat since I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
It works out actually, because when he stopped eating meat, I doubled my intake.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So,
My brother did-
I made up for it.
The universe
my
balances
brother
itself.
did the
It's
same
like
thing.
end game. You know?
Yeah.
But my point is, for some reason,
I'll die of a heart attack
I-
way before he's dead.
I love to cook, and I used to cook for my kids all the time when they were little, and they actually enjoyed the food. And I love watching like cooking channel and cooking shows. So I'm kind of semi-fascinated by this whole thing that you taped at Mini Critters. So I'm going to look for that. That was my point in this whole conversation. That
I'm
still.
still curious. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm keep asking
It's
about
okay.
it. Favorite restaurant? Like, if you had to go, like, this is my favorite restaurant in town. What are you
Here's-
saying?
here's
Don't say
Old Skool
McDonald's.
Jersey Rippers.
No, that was
Okay,
Ah,
I wanted to point that out first.
No, and
Oddly, Rome. But no, I'm just kidding.
Italy?
I've never actually been there before. so-
great. Go check out Rome.
I
Great
will
barbecue,
have to.
Great brisket.
But no, and this always sounds weird to
Oh,
people,
you
but I will say my favorite restaurant in Sioux
I will.
Falls
You'll
is
take
Famous Dave's.
Famous Dave's, okay.
I know, that's very strange, but what I'll eat there
They have
is-
meat.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, what do we do?
But what I'll order there is the side of corn on the cob and a corn muffin. That's my meal. But my kids,
What is that on the side of?
just, that's it.
The
I
muffin?
ordered the side, yes. The corn is the side for the muffin, the muffin's the side.
When you
I would like the side salad. And what would that be on the side of?
Another side salad.
when you order this, how many awkward silences are there on the phone when you're like,
Well,
sir?
I actually usually go in. But the funniest thing is you go to
That
a
way you
table-
make eye contact so they know that you're done.
He's like,
No.
it's that guy again with the weird order.
Well, first of all, that meal.
Get the corn and the bread.
What if you were saying up here? What's going on here, son?
All right, we got Jason says hi.
Hey, Jason.
And then what up, guys? And then Jess says you're making her hungry.
Of course.
This conversation, I'm hungry about it.
Yeah.
There you go. No, but I mean, like I go to Famous Dave's. I'll order the corn on the cob. I'll order the side of the corn muffins, and it costs me about $10. And so normally what I'll do is leave just a $20 bill on the table and walk out. So they know.
And that's
who
perfect because I go back in and I said the rest of that money was my order.
they know who I am. So most of the time there's usually a little fight to get me at the table because I double my, I tip pretty good there because I'm a cheap date. If I'm actually going out with somebody to someplace, then I usually don't tip that much. But,
He's never offered for either.
that's true.
See, I mean, it intrigues me because, like I said, I'm such a food person that I can never stop thinking about food.
Well, that's the weird thing is I really enjoy food. I've come up with some recipes that my kids really like. Like I came up with an orange marinated chicken that they really liked. I came up with
What did you substitute? Was it corn?
No,
Orange marinated corn?
It was for them. It was not for me.
So you can kill.
I mean, that's
It's not
even impossible. Like you're cooking like these meals and you're not even enjoying them.
No,
I'm not.
Do you enjoy the smell?
I do, weirdly, yes.
Okay.
I know bacon smells really good.
Oh,
but
it's
I don't.
delicious.
I can't.
I know that's what's going to kill me.
Yeah, and I figured if I ate bacon, it would be right now I'm a big guy, but if I ate bacon, man, oh man, it'd be my 600-pound life all over again. So
You're kind of like, hey,
I'm Tom. That's it. My heart would just quit. No, I've been like this honestly since I was about 7 or 8 years old. So really and truly 50 some years, I haven't eaten meat.
See,
over 50 years, he's hated life.
No, I've enjoyed my life. Thank you very much.
See, I feel that if you try like a cuisine that you've never had before, it can like re-spark that.
I've heard that, but I'm just at the point I am in my life, not going to happen. It's just, and it's weird because I got diagnosed with diabetes 4 or 5 years ago, and she gives me all these diet tips, and almost everything on the list of things I'm not supposed to eat is the only things I eat. So I'm like, well, this isn't going to happen. So what I ended up doing is just cutting back.
Are you like a kid? When they tell you not to, you do it?
Yeah, you're like, yeah, nice try, Doc.
Not anymore. That used to work until, somebody said, touch the electric fence. Go ahead, pee on that. It's fine. You'll be good.
It's good times.
And then they'd say, don't do that. Don't pee on it. I did. And then I figured, okay, they were right. I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, we have a question.
Okay.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Ooh.
Hell no.
So that's a maybe from Tom.
That's a no from
That's a
Tom.
yes for me. I had many of those.
That would be a no for me, even if I did eat.
It's so good. I had it when I first came to the Midwest. We were shooting a movie in Hyannis, Nebraska.
Okay.
What movie were you shooting?
We were shooting a short film called The Girl That Could Run 600 Miles an Hour.
Oh, wow.
It was about a girl that could run 600 miles an hour.
Weird.
I
What a weird
would
thing.
not have gotten that.
I would not have gotten that.
It was. I thought it was a plot twist, but it was pretty straightforward.
Broke
Well,
the leg
it's
halfway through.
What's the movie that was out a while ago? Something about the end of the world.
Seabiscuit?
With Seth Rogen and that James Franco was in it, and it was called The End of the World.
Yeah.
And the way it ends is it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And they said, what do you expect? We said it's the end of the world. Or Cheech and Chong die or something like that. I can't remember what that one was. But that's how they ended it. Basically, they died, and it's like, well, what do you expect?
What?
It's
You went
in the movie.
Cheech and Chong?
I don't remember what the name of the movie was for sure, but it was
I think it was Cheech and Chong die.
something like that. Yeah. But it was, but the whole
Tell
movie,
me more about this
the whole
feature
movie,
film.
they're trying to figure out why they call it this, and then they die, and it's like, well, what did you expect? This is what the name of the movie is.
Sounds like a blockbuster.
Yeah, it was probably a
It
stone.
does. They're coming back. They're making a comeback. Everything's making a comeback anymore.
Speaking of block, did you guys see the documentary about the blockbuster, the last blockbuster?
No, I want to see that.
Very good.
I've heard
Very good. Very nostalgic.
Was it out of New Jersey, the last one?
No, it's in Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember for sure.
Really good story. I was very
You were a
skeptical.
huge movie buff.
Yes.
And I used to be a really big movie
I
buff.
love movies. I mean,
I lost that with my first divorce.
I'm trying to see. As I got married and I had kids, I kind of lost it too because I was doing things.
Weird because when I got divorced, I became more and more of a movie buff. So I've got tons of movies now.
See, my thing now, what I do is my whole thing is like I wait once my wife goes to bed, and then I got my movie on.
I tried that.
I used to do
It
that.
doesn't work for me. Like I will.
I'll show you.
I
So you
had a
sit down.
separate room.
You sit down. You go like this. Ding ding. It's like
I used to.
Yeah, see, I can't
used
have
to do
stuff
that.
on when she's sleeping. She gets mad.
you put your headset. I use
The
wireless.
light.
I use
Yeah.
no, but I go in the living room.
Oh, see, and she has to have me next to her.
What?
So see, I'm controlled. I love you, Jess. I love you.
See, like
Oh, okay. Jess wants to know what Rocky Mountain oysters are.
Oh no, you don't.
Frankie, you want
yes.
to take this?
Oh, like I know I'm not going through stories here. I apologize. I'm not going. If I'm going through a story and then I go through something else, you can tell me to stop and I'll stop. So
No,
I
it's
had him
fine.
in
It's
I had him in
really good.
Nebraska. We were shooting a movie there, and we were staying in the only hotel, bar, mailroom, everything in Hyannis,
Yeah.
Nebraska. Very tiny little town. Never been to the Midwest. I was like completely like, I was like, wow, where are we? This is cool.
Where's everything else?
Yeah. Because after we left Lincoln and drove the 5 hours west, we were like,
Yeah, there's nothing.
I never knew I could just
Nothing.
leave a steering wheel like this and nothing will happen.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So we got there, and this is the place we slept and we ate, and it was and they had like burgers for like $2 and steaks for like $6 and Rocky Mountain oysters
900 pounds.
and Rocky Mountain oysters. And I said, what are those? I'm like, what kind of shellfish is that? And I said, they were oysters. And they're like, no, these are the goods. And I said, what do you mean the goods? And she's like,
From a bowl.
From the
It's
bowl.
Not a bowl anymore.
So I said, would you like to try it? And I said, do you have any hot sauce? And she said, yes. And I said, let's do it. And they were great. So yes, Rocky Mountain oysters.
Let's put it this way. It
Bull
used to-
testicles.
It was a bull that became a steer. It's the part that you take off when you make a bull into a steer.
And if it's deep fried, it's delicious. It's great.
I've actually heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
You guys hear that? It sounds like a challenge. It sounds like a
I'm
challenge.
gonna tell you right now, I've never had them, but if this guy's cooking,
Can anybody in the audience bring them in? Not now, but
Not
obviously
for me,
next
though.
time.
I'll let Joe try them.
Okay.
I'd probably try it.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're good.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
But yeah, you'd try Vegemite.
I would because it's Vegemite. I know it's disgusting, but
Worse than a Rocky Mountain oyster?
no, I don't think it's worse than that.
Oh, it is.
No, I don't.
There's
I've
nothing
never
wrong
tried
with it.
it.
There's nothing wrong
We've
with
never
Rocky Mountain
received that
oyster.
Vegemite, have we?
Have you ever had Vegemite?
No, but when I used to work in Outback, they would have the Vegemite like ads, like the
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
what do they call it? Not the metal, like the tin.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the advertisement.
Yeah,
sign.
on the walls.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's how I know.
Because it's Australian, But we never got any of that, did we?
No, we
Oh,
didn't.
well, I'm sort of sad about
No.
that, but oh, well.
It's all right. It's a lot to send that stuff.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm probably glad.
Snail mail.
I've heard it's very salty.
Oh, you got coked.
It's cooked.
Damn it.
Well, he
I'll be right
I'm a
back.
professional.
I'm gonna.
I'm a professional. We just keep going. We
You
just keep
guys are
going.
talking.
Yeah.
We just keep going. My crotch is a little wet. That's all good.
That's all right. That's all
I'm just
right.
gonna move this over here.
All right. So when you moved here, did you have kids? Or did the kids?
No, the kids are from the Midwest.
Okay. So you have,
Angelina and Luca. Yeah, they're from the Midwest.
and how old?
Luca is 1.5 years, and Angelina's gonna be 4.
Ooh, so they're fairly new.
Yes.
Of course, when you said you've been here 6 years.
I've been here 6 years. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice, nice, nice.
Do you mind?
I don't.
Yes, I do. Thank you, though.
Oh well, Tom's out, I guess.
Hey, I'm sociable to a point, but that's the point I'm not going to be sociable about. So
Wow.
another man's lap is his lap. So
He is our guest, sir.
Yeah,
I know, but
God, so rude.
You
Also-
will undress him and dry his pants.
okay.
It's like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
It seems like it.
Great show, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty good one, and that's set in New York, though. So
Yep.
along with Friends. Is there? Okay, I was going to say, is there?
You
any,
can't compare that.
Are there any shows set in New Jersey? And then it dawned on me, yes, there is a show set in New Jersey
Sopranos.
that was pretty popular.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
And the movie's coming out
Yeah.
too.
How are they going to do that without James Gandolfini?
It's the son. It's the prequel. This is when Tony Soprano is coming. Is becoming
Okay.
Tony Soprano.
So it's going to be about his dad and that. part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And okay, that'll be fun because I think, well, obviously, the guy who played Tony's dead. The guy who played Grandpa has passed away, and I believe the woman who played his mom died in real life.
Yep. She died during the filming.
She died during
because
the show,
They
yeah.
actually had a CGI her, and you can see
Yep.
the CGI in some of the,
Yeah.
and it looks terrible because it's like
Yeah.
1999.
Yeah,
and
it was not
CGI
good.
was like,
I still remember when I had a car breakdown on the interstate. We had to get.
what kind of car?
That was I don't remember. God, it was a piece of crap though. Anyway, we had to have it towed to Madison, South Dakota from the interstate, which is a lot farther than you think when you're sitting with two kids and a big fat tow truck driver, and you're a big fat guy yourself. Anyway, we got to the hotel and they had Deadwood on, and I'd never seen Deadwood, and Sopranos. I have seen Sopranos, and my kids wanted to watch Deadwood. And about 5 minutes into the show, I said, "We're not watching this anymore," because my kids were, I think, at the time 12 and 8 or something like that.
We'll watch The Sopranos instead.
We'll watch The Sopranos instead. Which we
What's wrong with this brothel that just popped up here?
Well, my problem with Deadwood is that I do honestly not believe that they used that kind of language as regularly as they did in the show. The Sopranos, on the other hand, yes, I believe that.
100%.
I believe that. But
Well, you grew up in the neighborhood, so why don't you kind of enlighten us?
No, I mean,
And I'll
that's,
just drool.
the Sopranos is pretty spot on. Like they did a great job about the locations. I mean,
well, there actually is a Bada Bing strip club, isn't there?
it used to be. No, it wasn't called Bada Bing, but it was a strip club.
And then
yes.
the butcher shop that they were.
Santoriali's.
That's actually. I think
It used to be a
it used
butcher
to be a
shop
butcher
that
shop.
closed down, and then
And they used
the
it as a
show took it over.
location.
When they took it over, it just became that location. It just became
Yeah.
like a tourist
But I
attraction.
thought I heard somewhere that they were kind of reopening as a butcher shop for tourists.
I think they want to, yeah,
Yeah,
like almost
so-
like a pop-up kind of deal.
So that's kind of fun.
And that drive, he does in the entrance scene. That's like right from all my neighborhood, all around there, which is kind of cool. So no, that show is definitely spot on. The way people talk, the way people act is very, very, very similar.
So how connected are you?
He's in South.
Don't worry, no one's watching. I just want to know.
I only had to move from
What
New
are my
Jersey.
chances?
I only had to move from New Jersey to the middle of the country.
There may be a reason
And
he's
change your
living in South
name.
Dakota now. Yeah. But no, honestly, it influenced some of the shirts that I wear right now. You've seen some of the shirts I have that I've worn that
Mhm.
are that type of bold.
And when you're not wearing shirts?
When I'm not wearing shirts, you see my cool tattoos. But
Yeah.
Prove it.
Oh, he did
I
last
did that
show.
last
Oh,
week.
just saying prove it.
Okay, here we go. This is to offset the one that he has on. It's not a tattoo on his shirt.
Ooh, here we go, guys.
Yep, there's my.
It's so
You
bright.
can't see it though. That's the thing.
I feel like.
There's so much white around.
Well, I was
it.
going to say, it looks like the sun's coming out of
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It's TC logo for the Twins. We explained that last week. It's
You're glowing for your
a direct result of showing that was because of his NY on his.
I wasn't sure if you sat underneath the sun for a while and then your glow in the dark skin got charged.
It did.
Okay.
It did, yeah. That's
You're a superhero. You're like harnessing the power.
Yeah, glow in the dark man. Not so popular.
Not as popular, yeah, because I kind of give myself away every time I go through in the dark. So, but no, it's that's one of my favorite shows of all time. I remember my parents wanted the first season on, and they got it on VHS tapes, and I was so surprised that when I watched it, because I watched it and I was surprised because I didn't have HBO at the time, but I got them the first season for Christmas or something, and I was like, my mom likes this show because the language is relatively adult. She just really liked the show. She liked the acting and all that stuff. So, but I was very surprised because the two things I remember was we saw a movie called it's got Brad Pitt and it's a bunch of Snatched. Have you ever seen the movie
Yes,
Snatched?
sir.
Okay, so I thought this would be a great movie to watch. But I was
They like dags.
I was fairly
Yeah, wasn't he? What was it? A pike?
Pikey.
Pikey.
The Pikeys.
I was fairly freshly divorced. I had my kids at my parents, and my dad and I went to go get a movie. And I thought, oh, Snatch! It's gang. Well, I didn't know what it was about, and so it had.
Let me get that movie called Snatch. I have no clue.
Well, I thought it was just a kidnapping movie. So,
Oh, okay.
so it's got two things that my parents love. My dad just accents in movies to him. It's just like, nope, done. Not gonna watch it. And the swearing, which my mother can't stand. And then of course I have a kid at the time. I think was 10 and 6 at the time. And then we're watching this movie, and I'm like, okay, the kids can't watch this. I gotta turn this off. So we ended up turning that movie off, and I watched it later. But the whole Brad Pitt character with his made up language, it was a pretty good movie. But boy, it was exactly the opposite of what my parents like.
Oh, see,
Are they Lutheran? Were they?
No, my dad's Catholic. My mom was Episcopalian,
Okay.
so Catholic light basically.
Sure.
And
Catholic light. What?
and but my dad just doesn't like accents. He just doesn't think that he's grew up in Nebraska and don't like accents, and my mom couldn't stand swearing, although she taught me most of my really good swear words. There's one she wouldn't let us use ever.
But
well, we did occasionally by accident, and then my dad would come out and talk to us about it.
no, the word "but."
Yeah, that was it. Sure.
That was it.
Sure.
That was the word.
It was a word.
I was the one that set her over.
It was a word that's she's dead, so it doesn't matter. It's a word that started with F, ends in CK, and it was not fire truck. It was a different word. And she did not like that. I still remember one day my brother and me and some of our friends when I was in middle school were sitting in the front porch, or on the front stoop, which is a good 20 feet away from the house. And we're just F this, F that, F this, F that. And then pretty soon here comes my dad, and he just grabs my brother and me by the ear. He yanks us into the house. Your mother was upstairs in the room, and she could hear every word you were saying. You do not use that language around your mother. And we're just
Did she hear this one?
no, at that point I learned never, ever to say
I
that
didn't
word.
wake up for a week.
But I can still remember the first time when I was probably in my 30s, my dad told me a joke, and that was part of the punchline. And I'm like, my dad used that word?
He's dropping the F-bomb.
They all dropped the F-bomb big time. And I was like, and it was a hilarious joke, but I was just so shocked by the word that he used that word. I'm like, no, and I never heard my mom ever say it. But her favorite joke to tell me was, and we're in the mature zone. Her favorite joke in the world was, what do you call a pregnant prostitute? A business failure.
Wow.
Now, she told me this joke when I was like
Wow.
10 or 11 years old, and I had no idea what any of those words meant. And when I was about 13 or 14, I was like,
Mom.
now I get it. What the hell? My mother told this joke. And it's just,
And then Tom learned that his mom was in a fight club as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't talk
Corrupt
about that.
underground.
Yeah, first rule.
Can't talk about
It all
that.
started with that joke.
No, she was a teacher, so I think she had all kinds of stuff she didn't tell us about. But
Teachers, they do a lot. So.
But that's my Sopranos story. Instead of watching Deadwood, we decided to watch The Sopranos because the language was more realistic. I didn't think Deadwood was realistic, but The Sopranos, yeah, okay. And those boys had been golfing and played softball with me, so they knew those words. Not like,
Because you played with the Sopranos?
no, because I played softball badly and I played golf badly.
Oh, okay.
And so occasionally, when you do something badly, you let out a word or two.
Gotcha. So they were fluent.
They were fluent.
So we're all fans of the mafia stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Godfather
Favorite movie. Tom?
Combination of Godfather 1 and 2. When you put those two together, it becomes my all-time favorite. I also like Goodfellas quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there. I love the Godfather 1 and 2. 3 is,
3 is stupid.
They're reaching there. I felt. I love Casino.
For all the Godfather 3 fans, I'm sorry for Tom.
I'll be legit. Anybody wants to bring on a Godfather 3 argument? Bring it on, because I got it. I've analyzed that movie, and it's not worthy of 1 and 2.
No, it's not.
It's not a closure. It's almost like all the Star Wars trilogies. And trust me, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And
Oh, are you? I did not notice.
Yeah.
I am. But yeah, Goodfellas. Love Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Love Casino.
Casino's pretty good. What do you think? I'm a clown? You think I'm funny? Yeah, that's iconic.
Scorsese, I like his style because he likes to mix the violence with like the religious side.
Yeah, and
he's
he
always throwing the guy
and he
in
adds
there.
enough of the humor in there.
Oh
too.
yeah, I mean, because he says when you grew up, you either became a priest or you became a cop.
The other one is
and then your third option, you became part of the guys. You became like part of the Cosa Nostra.
what is the Joel and Ethan
Wait,
Coen
can you say that
movie?
again?
Cosa
Nostra.
No, I like it. It doesn't make that recorded in the ringtone.
What is the Joel and Ethan Coen movie?
Miller's Crossing?
Yeah, that's an awesome
Sure
gangster
is.
movie. Have you
Sure
seen that
is.
one? You've seen Miller's Crossing, haven't you? Oh, you gotta
That's
watch.
really
You
good.
gotta watch Miller's Crossing.
Road to Perdition.
That's also
yeah.
That's
that-
another one. That's
That
another
was
one.
what, I had no idea what that movie was
Sam
about.
Mendes, yeah.
I like Tom Hanks. I really like Paul Newman.
Paul Newman is great.
Favorite actors, and I again took the boys to it. It's not actually for what it's about. It's not a terrible movie for kids to go see.
It's
But
a life lesson.
I did not know it was based on a graphic novel when I first saw it, but we went to it because Tom Hanks was in it. And he played this character I've never seen him play a character like this before. That's relatively at one point very unsympathetic because he gets himself into these situations. But you get him against Paul Newman, who are two of the nicest guys in show business. And they're playing these relatively despicable characters, truthfully. And you got this poor kid that's sort of stuck in the middle of them. And it's just an awesome movie. Have you seen Road to Perdition?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I'm glad you've seen that one. But I've made me go out and buy the the graphic novel, which is basically they took the graphic novel and turned it into a movie. I mean, it's page for page almost, shot for shot, but it's an awesome one. I forgot about that one. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
But Miller's Crossing is another good one. That's just, again, talking about the violence mixed with the humor. It's a good one. So I recommend Miller's Crossing if you haven't seen it.
I have not.
Yeah, have you seen what's the other one? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, same guys made that. So
You know what's funny? Speaking about the Coen Brothers, I just started watching Fargo, but the show.
yeah.
The show.
I heard it's good.
I want to watch it, but
The second, it's really good.
I don't get Hulu or whatever it's on. Didn't it start off on Showtime or something like
It's
that?
on Netflix. I think.
Yeah, it started somewhere
somewhere.
besides where it is now, because I could watch it. I watched the first one with Bilbo or Frodo or whoever.
Yeah, that was.
Whichever one was in it, and
Also, you saw the first
and Billy
season.
Bob. Yeah, Billy Bob was in
That's
it.
a good season.
That's the best season that
Yeah.
I've heard. That's the best season, and then I've heard there was a couple others that have been good since.
The second one takes place in Sioux Falls and Laverne.
Yeah,
which is
it takes place in
which is
Sioux
why I'm
Falls.
like, what? This is so
Wow.
weird. And then as I'm watching the show, we're working in Take 16 in Laverne. So I'm like, this is so surreal. Like, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the movies that I like. I mean, Casino too. You guys seen Casino?
Casino's
Oh, yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
Casino's like, it's like a nice long movie. This movie's good too. Once Upon a Time in America.
Yep,
You guys
that's
ever seen
very
that?
good.
That's
Yeah.
a good one as well.
Is that the one where Joe Pesci gets capped at the end in the? Oh no, that's the one I think.
No, Joe Pesci gets capped in a lot of movies.
Well, he does,
And
yeah.
Casino too.
I might do.
Which is probably the
Goodfellas.
the sickest scene in Casino when him and his brother are getting killed, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Evans.
Well, no, and it was Goodfellas. I'm thinking of it, where he's.
That's when he's getting made.
He walks into the thing, and the guy just walks
That
over
was-
and pop right in the
yeah.
back of the head. Yeah, it's a little sudden. It was very, very sudden.
He didn't make it.
It was expected.
He didn't make it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it was
What
expected.
do you mean? What do you mean? He's like, he didn't make it. You know, he
Yeah,
didn't make it.
yeah, and then you see Robert De Niro just.
Breaks the phone apart, just tears down that phone booth.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's such a good movie. Yeah.
I gotta say, yeah, Goodfellas is probably up there. Probably close to number one. I really liked The Irishman.
The Irishman, I have not seen that yet. I need to see it.
Very, very well done.
That's
very
with,
well done.
That's with who's in that?
Robert. De
Who's
Niro.
in it? Who is
I mean,
not
yeah.
in it? It's just
Really,
all the
that's-
cats are in it.
Was
Loaded.
it like a 4-hour movie or something?
It's a trilogy. I mean, it can be like 4 movies. It can be like
It's a one shot. I mean, you sit there and just watch it.
Yeah, you just gotta watch. You just
No, I want
take
to.
it in, take it all in.
Yeah,
definitely
I mean, I
want
watched it in one setting and I was just blown away because it was
What's the
everything
one-
I love.
You have to watch it multiple times.
What's the
Yeah.
one with Johnny Depp where he plays?
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one too.
Yep.
The one with,
I really like that
with,
one.
Matt Damon and where everybody gets killed in the end.
The Departed.
Party.
Yeah, that's
that one's really
Jack
good.
Nicholson.
It just has to be in Boston.
Yeah.
As a Yankee fan, you know.
Oh yeah.
But then
Yeah.
the town is good too. The town, that's a good one as well.
Yep. So I like that. Honestly, I really haven't watched a mafia movie that I have not liked. There's
Yeah.
something about it.
I have one that I didn't like that much.
What's that?
The Gotti movie with John Travolta.
Oh,
That
okay. I did not see
I've
that.
not
one.
seen that one, but I can't imagine it would be.
Not that good. It's almost like they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's one that's like you'll flip it and it's like anti-mafia and the Boondock Saints.
Oh, I love that
I like the
movie.
Boondock
that's-
Saints.
Yeah.
that's
So
a
I know
cool
like
one.
that
That's
gets a
a
lot
cool
of
one.
flack.
Who's the dude in
What?
that?
Really? It does? I thought it was like almost like a
Yeah.
cult classic.
Oh, it's a cult.
It
classic,
is,
for
but
sure.
the people, the haters really hate it.
Yeah.
Because
But
it's
what's-
like, because Ron Jeremy's in it? Is that one?
No, it's, I think it's like
I didn't know
Campy?
weak mafia movie.
It's not.
Which is it's like I said, it's like the
I don't know if
anti-mafia.
it's a mafia. It's more like a John Wickish.
Yeah, it's kind of John Wicky.
Well, you've got
The other one that I
the,
like
the
is-
mafia in there, and they're
in
taking them
there.
out.
Yeah, basically. But you're
So
right.
you've
It is
got the
anti-mafia.
Irish guys.
They're
you know?
basically going after the mafia.
Yeah.
There's the other one that I really like that a lot of people might not remember is In Bruges with Colin Farrell and
Oh yeah.
where they're both hitmen.
Yep.
And I think they're both contracted to kill each other.
What's it called?
In Bruges.
Ooh, I haven't heard of this.
It's Colin Farrell
Huh,
and
you stopped me. How dare you?
You want me to leave for a minute? It can get dark in here.
the other dude that's in it is fairly commonly seen in a lot of that type of Irish mafia type movies. I can't think of his name now.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. I'm going to pull it up here in a second if I can get it's a very slow phone to work.
I really enjoyed Kill the Irishman too.
Oh, that one.
Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, if we're gonna go out of the genre, a little bit, Scarface.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna talk about
That's
taking a whole group out, the Colombians taking out the Cubans.
Yep.
Man, that's a great movie.
okay. So like series is.
Brendan-
I mean, there's
Brendan
like
Gleeson.
Narcos. Have you
Love
watched that? Okay.
Anything that's a cartel, that's Escobar,
Yeah.
that stuff. I just
Yeah.
Brendan,
I find it so cool. And I mean, I know it was harsh timing, but like Colombia went through all this craziness, from the 70s to the 80s, that the 90s. I mean, it's just bizarre.
and then they have that
crazy.
whole issue with the Hulk, back in the day.
Appearing in
What
the
are you
jungle.
Brendan Gleeson was the guy I was trying to think of, the actor. I was trying to think of that was in Bruges with.
I gotta check that movie out.
It's good.
When was that movie?
Let's see. I haven't have it up here. It came out in
2008?
2008.
Okay.
Guilt-stricken after a job gone wrong, hitman Ray and his partner await orders from their ruthless boss in Bruges, Belgium. They basically, I think they accidentally kill a kid, and then they feel extremely guilty about it. And then plus they're being hunted.
Get rid of the body.
No, they're trying to get rid of. They're trying to not get killed themselves. I don't think it goes well for them, if I remember correctly, at the end. But
We'll check it out.
it's you.
All right. So you mentioned you were in film.
Yes.
So where did you jump from film to the restaurant thing? I mean, I know you worked in a restaurant to
Yeah.
kind of help you out with the film schedule, but
Yeah, I
like,
mean, it was.
when did
I
you
kind
decide?
it just kind of, I was working in film, and it was right after 9/11, and it was a little bit of a wonky time because productions, became super like locked down. Before, New York City is one of the most film friendly cities in the world. You can literally say, I want to shoot here, and you can go to the mayor's office and get a permit, and you can shoot there. You can even, depending on how big your movie's size is, they can even give you police officers to block off, paid by the New York City Film Commission, which is
wow.
crazy. Like they have officers that just work the film like routes to block streets and stuff like that. After 9/11, that changed a lot. Became a police state. There was heavy police presence, military presence there, obviously. So it made everything super difficult. We in New York City, you're constantly, as a gopher, you're running to Queens to get film equipment. You're going here to get this, and every time you got to cross a bridge or anything like that, your car gets stopped. Especially if you're driving a truck. So they're going through like the Mexican border, basically. They open your truck up. They want to make sure you check your paperwork, make sure that you're not going to bomb the bridge, because there were so many threats at that time. So it became super, super stressful.
Is that kind of when the film industry started moving down to Georgia and
Yep.
stuff?
Yep, it did. They started first it became Canada. Right, they started going to Saskatchewan up there.
Toronto. a lot of films.
Yep, and then they started going to Georgia, New Orleans, things like that. But yeah, it kind of took a little bit of a toll. And then, as obviously, it came back, but as I started, there wasn't as much work at one point, then I just started kind of tapping in more into the bartending. And then
So you didn't do any catering on film sets or anything like that?
I would eat every catering, any craft services that was put out, I would just devour.
I could have that job.
It helped you appreciate the food, then, basically. Yeah.
Well, I used to be in the camera department. I used to be what they call a focus puller, a first assistant camera person. And, everybody, you either on or off, Once, they're shooting when they're shooting stuff, the lighting guys, they take their break because everything's set up. The sound guys, they're not on until they're shooting the film. Camera department is always on. The camera always has to have somebody guarding that camera or cameras or lenses. So you're always eating by a camera. It's like literally like you're holding it onto it, because that lens is expensive, that camera is expensive, and that film that you're shooting, you can't lose it because it's a day's or hours worth of work. So we just go to craft service and just stock up, just eat like a bunch of animals for 10 minutes straight before we had to go back on. So it was a fun time for sure. Got to do a little traveling, so it's good.
So at what point did you meet your wife?
I met my wife in 2002. We worked in the same place. I met her at the Outback. She was very easygoing, very friendly.
Third busiest Outback in the world.
Third busiest Outback in the country.
Country.
Right.
Okay, not the world.
We were behind Vegas, and just because they're open.
Oh, that's right. I mean,
It's hard to beat.
Yeah,
they're open for lunch.
Hey,
We
24
weren't even
hours.
open for lunch. Come on, give me a break. Outback back in the day, we were not open for lunch. This is before the recession.
I believe it, yeah.
This is before the 2 for 20s.
well, Vegas in Jersey has a lot in common.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
what?
Vegas was built by the mob.
Oh, Boardwalk Empire. What about
There
that?
you
That's
go.
another.
Yeah, there you go. There's a series.
So yeah, we kind of met in the industry, serving bartending, and then we started as friends. We would go to Yankee games together and things like that, and kind of hang out, and it evolved to something more serious over the years, and yeah.
And
So now you got two
two
kids?
kids
I
later.
have two
Yeah.
kids, yeah, 2 kids later, yeah. And
Seems to have worked out then. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you got
for sure.
Luca.
Luca, yeah,
And-
and Angelina,
Okay, I like it.
yeah. Luca, my little Lukey.
There you go.
No, they're good kids, and my wife's awesome. She's the one that keeps.
Now
it
you
all
said
together.
she's more Jersey than you.
Oh my God, Jersey Joy, for sure, for sure. Telling you, you don't want to double cross Jersey Joy.
Oh,
She'll come
wow.
after you.
I don't know why, but I have a vision of the Saturday Night Live parody of a Jersey Girl.
No, it's
Yeah, or I don't want to compare it since I don't know her, and I'm probably going to meet her next couple weeks.
yeah.
I don't want to compare her to Snooki or any of those.
Oh no. I'll give you a little bit of an example. I've during a rain delay between the Yankees and Red Sox game, I almost saw my wife fight a Red Sox fan. I gave her a little bit of a talk, and I knew that moment when I saw her launching at this female. I said, I'm gonna marry that woman.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, I was so turned on by that.
She's
And
the
I
one
said,
for me.
She's the one.
Yeah.
She's like really like, "Raw, I'm gonna get you!" And I was like, and I did nothing. I did nothing to stop it.
Get her. Go, yep. All
Go
right,
get her.
I'm watching
Go
this.
get her.
So yes,
Yeah.
she had my heart.
Oh, wow. And I think she probably pulled that one out of the other girl, right?
Yeah, gave it to you.
Just the
my
finishing move.
Gift to you.
No more Kombat in there.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah.
So what do you got going on this weekend?
We got a few things. Tomorrow we're going to be in Brandon for their food truck alley. We do that once a month. We'll be out there, and then on Friday we're doing a double header. We're going to be in Amazon, aka Skynet.
Wow.
It's a big, it's a big place from what I've seen. And
Yeah.
it's,
the pictures I've seen are huge.
yeah, so we're going to be there for lunch, and then in the evening we're going to be in Covert Artisan Ales down on the East Bank. They're going to have a band from New York
Oh, nice.
playing from Brooklyn. So it should be a good time. And then on Saturday, we'll be at Wood Grain. Our buddy's there at Wood Grain down on 9th and Phillips. So we got a nice, busy couple of next days. And yeah, hope to see you guys. Come out for sure.
And you
All
guys
right.
were just at Golf Addiction last night?
Yeah, we did the Golf Addiction Tuesday. That was nice. The weather wasn't that sunny, but a lot of people came out. They had music. It's really cool, man. But you put a DJ, you put some tables, and it was such a cool thing.
And this was on 57th and Marion.
Correct. Yep.
That's a weird location for this thing to happen.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. Like they have those beanbag tournaments. They take up like the whole parking lot.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
super convenient because right next to it there's a parking lot where Fogies is and the hair salon and
Yep.
Billy Frog.
Really
So
proud. Yep.
you have that extra parking there, so it's super convenient. It's people like it. Had a good time.
Yeah.
It was
Good.
really nice.
That's,
Be there.
how many food trucks came up for that one?
6 of them, 5 like food ones and the SU ice cream.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, I was tempted to go over there, but I needed to work here because my arteries were clogging as I was hearing you talk. So
So what's going on here? What can people expect? I mean,
Yeah.
give the people an update.
I don't know, man. I'm working right now. I'm working on the wall.
All right. Yeah, you got a wall.
Well, it's supposed to be a dragon's cave, so it doesn't look like a dragon's cave right now.
But it will.
But it will. I'm going to cover with some castle stone, and then we're going to put either some green LED lights or some blue LED lights, and that what it essentially is, it leads into the bathroom. And so when you're out here playing games, you get the bathroom over there, and do you really want to open up the bathroom and
And
like, hey guys,
yeah, a bunch of
no,
lights.
it's a little bit of privacy,
No.
but I can make it cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's
So,
cool.
and then it also gives us a little storage area for like where the fuse box is at and that kind of stuff. So
Cool. And tell me about this big screen here. What's the plan for that?
that will be like an after hours kind of just, we have maybe a new release or maybe an
Average
old hit or
Joe's
something
after
like that. So yeah, basically like an average Joe cinema.
Cool. I guess the Big Lebowski will not be playing here anytime soon.
Oh, why not?
It involves a game. Bowling is a game.
Yeah, I will.
Me too.
Yeah, same here.
Top 10 in my book.
Dude.
Yeah, I have Goodfellas eventually going to be coming on that one because that's I've never seen that on a big screen, and
Oh,
the movie buff kind of came back to me as I started getting bigger and bigger TVs, and then
Yeah.
I gotten actually that was loaned to me by a buddy of mine, and he had 3 of them, and he's like, well, you can use it until I need it back, or which may never be, maybe never.
You're like mine.
And so he let me paint it. And he's a real cool guy, so he let me do it. And,
Cool.
And so I put it down. I put foam around it because I just thought it looked nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
You know, and then we put some sound dampeners around here. Got up there and climbed up and did the sound dampening around it. Now we've got the workout place next to us. It's just cranking the bass.
Oh, is that what that is? I thought you had a guy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you had a guy with a bass. A guy.
Yeah.
A guy was tuning his bass. Like,
No, so we share a building with a fitness gym, and so it's called Coast to Coast Fitness.
Cool.
And he has a good half of the building, and then they went and added on to they made like a workout gym, like you got the weights and all that kind of stuff, kind of like a little private area. And so you'll get like one or two people in there, and they'll just crank it, because this used to be there used to be a concrete place that was in this area, and then the next over was a trucker, and so no one was ever here. Well, now there's a business here, so they don't really care. They're just doing their thing and cranking it and pumping iron and whatnot. And they don't realize that they rattle the walls.
Can you crank your music to counter them?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to tell you guys right now what is the best counter for any type of massive bass.
Barbie girl.
Bagpipes. I'm going to tell you right now. That'll end anybody's workout.
Yeah, I used to work, and I would know because I used to work in Irish pubs, and
so
I've heard many a bagpipe.
I love bagpipes, and so I crank those, and
this stop.
Yeah, pretty much. Last night I had Billy Joel was competing against it.
A stranger?
Yeah. So that one.
Speaking of mobs, scenes from an Italian restaurant, one of those types of songs that you can. Seems like it could be mobster related. It's not at all, but it's still.
How do you know it's not?
Yeah. How do you know?
Have you ever heard?
Were you there?
Have you heard the song?
Were you there when he wrote it?
I was.
Oh, okay.
I actually wrote it.
You know, I always like to imagine when he's saying that bottle of red, bottle of white. You know, Billy Joel in that line. Yeah. I always think about the restaurant, The Godfather, when he's whacking the turkey. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I always think like, that's the restaurant. I know it is, Billy. Tell me. So.
Yeah, it could have been, because isn't he a Jersey boy? Isn't Billy Joel a Jersey boy?
He's a Brooklyn guy. I believe. Well, he lives on Long Island, but I think he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Anyway, that's one of my favorites. That's the only reason I bring it up, because that's one of my favorite CDs of all time.
Yeah, it's a great.
And that's probably the best song on there, Scenes from a Italian Restaurant.
Sure is.
So getting back to what we got going on here.
Bottle of red.
Is we've got tons of tables. This is about 3,200 square foot combined. This is 1,600 square foot, and then our retail other play space is another 1,600, a little over that. So we've got a board game library. Kind of lost count, 1,500 to 2,000 games, and they're all available for free to play. Cool. And then you come in, maybe grab yourself a soda or a snack or something like that, play for a while. It's family fun entertainment. It brings the family back to the table, and that's really what Average Joe's is all about. It's bringing everyday families back to the table, getting them to do something with their kids instead of just zoning out.
Get you off these things.
Right. It's what I love, and it's what I grew up doing, and so you don't see that really a whole lot. I mean, board games are really making a comeback.
They
and,
sure
and
are.
This is a great time to be opening a store. And I don't. Yes, we have a store, but I don't really look at it as this is a store. This is more of a community area. That is really what Average Joe's has always been, is give to the community and share what I have. And so I outgrew my house, I outgrew my game room, and I kind of outgrew going and setting up once a month in a place and then tearing down and spending hours and hours and doing that.
You said enough of that.
Right. And so I was like, I outgrew my game room, I took over my garage, and now I need something bigger. And so that's really what this game is, is just a thing where I can share it with everybody. And I love people. I grew up not really having many friends, and getting to meet awesome people like you and Tom and Jason and, my other buddies. And it's just, it's something that I missed when I was younger. And so now I'm not as awkward as I used to be.
Prove it.
You got a knife?
I do, but no, you can't. Okay, fine.
You know what?
Nobody.
And I fight. That's like.
No, I wanted to show him a trick.
That's a trick.
Only I miss.
That's a Jersey conversation.
It involves me bleeding on a regular basis. You know what nobody's ever thought of, I'm guessing, is a game truck.
Okay, I did think of that.
Oh, you
I
did.
actually
You're
had
right.
the
You
game
had the
bus,
Yeah, you had a bus.
and then I realized
That was to go
it
to
was not going
conventions
to
and
work.
stuff. Yeah,
Yes,
that would have been
because-
kind of cool.
What do you mean, like a mobile bus that you go
Yeah,
in and
right.
you
Kinda
drive
like,
and you drive around and you play games?
Yeah, kind of like the mobile library.
Hmm.
Well, mobile bus, but it was like, you guys going to a convention? Okay, we're going to take you down to the convention. You have tables, you have stuff
Like
set up,
games
and
on
you
the
can kind of
bus.
just game and nerd out on the way down. Now, so with us, we've got tons of games. We've got the little arcade over there. That's my idea of an arcade. That's
Well, no,
what I nerd out with.
I'm getting that retro thing because I've been
cool.
I've been watching. I was like, man, that thing looks so badass.
Yeah, so the one I have has 7,500 games, and then the other one has like 3,500 games, and then I've got the arcade one-ups, which have like 4 in each one.
Yeah.
But they're
always
I grew up in the arcade,
Me too.
and so I love that feel.
too.
So
By
basically,
the way,
this is just a larger version of my game room. Everything that was in my game room is here. So
For those of you who were listening last week in the game I couldn't remember the name of, Gauntlet.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the
Gauntlet.
animated 3D, not 3D, but it was like a cell animated game, and it was great. It was a really good game. So, but you got the pattern down on it, you could win.
They had a bunch of those. I remember I had Gauntlet 4, I think.
Yep. So that was the one I was trying to think of, Gauntlet. But anyway,
which we have here.
yeah. So there
You want to hear something funny? So, I mean, not funny, but this is, my experience as I moved to the States. I moved in 91, right?
Okay.
So
How old were you in 91?
I was turning 10. So I lived in the arcade when I was back in Chile. Lived in the arcade. My mom hated me going there because it was right next to a liquor store.
Sure.
And in Chile, there's no legal drinking age. So people would just literally go to these liquor stores and kind of just pop up one there and just kind of like, take it to town. So there was always, suspicious guys kind of hanging out, but we all knew them in the neighborhood. So we were cool and stuff, but my mom didn't hate me going there. So even that made it more thrilling for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the game that was hot before I left Chile was, and like I said, Chile was in a dictatorship for many years. So in the 1990, the dictatorship ended and it went to democracy. So things start coming out that you weren't getting before. For example, McDonald's was going to come to Chile in 1991, right before I left.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles came in. I was like, what is this? Like my mind was blown. Things like that. I had an Atari, okay? And I didn't even know this how this even worked. My Atari, it wasn't a cartridge Atari, okay? It was a tape deck.
Okay. Yeah.
And you would put the games in a cassette.
Yep. I remember those.
And you had to load it. So it wouldn't just load like, boop, boop, boop. Like you had to play the cassette for like 15 to 20 minutes till it went through everything and it will play the game.
It's like the old storage for computers back then.
It was so bizarre. And like I said, the Atari looked like it had a hard drive and it had a monitor. And then it had a joystick, obviously, and it had this tape deck. And we would put our Atari games in there and then be like, okay, let's put the game in. We'll come back in a half hour.
We'll get some
You know what I
lunch.
mean? Yeah. And if something would happen, it wouldn't load right. You had to start all over again. I'm telling you. So that's where I was coming from, okay? And then Street Fighter 1 was the game that was like hot.
Oh, that was
So
big.
you could not get me off Street Fighter 1. Especially if it was, your player 1 was Ryu, and player 2 was Ken. I moved to the States. Street Fighter 2, like right there. I was like, what is this? My mind was blown. And then I'm going from that Atari to a Nintendo because we didn't have Nintendo yet. It hadn't reached Chile yet. So I had a Nintendo. As soon as I came in, my dad had it waiting for me. I was like, It was like sensory overload.
Yep.
And with Street Fighter 2, and I was like, oh my God, this is like the best. So yeah, a little tidbit of that.
And then they had Street Fighter versus Marvel.
Oh my God! Mortal Kombat came out.
Oh.
When that came out, we were like, they would, and we used to go to a pizzeria right next to a grammar school and go play Mortal Kombat, and then the school would have to go in and grab us. We wouldn't go back to class. They'd be like, hey, hello, like lunch is over. You need to cross the street. And I'm like, no,
We're still playing. We're fighting.
I'm Sub-Zero. Leave me alone.
Yes.
That was the way it was in high school for us. We had I was talking about it last week again, that trackball football game that caused blisters all over your hand. And so that's why you started wearing the fingerless gloves to play that.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's what gave you blisters.
It's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's why Yeah, that's why the hair was covered up by the gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was another good documentary. Did you see that High Score game? That one about the video games?
No.
I'll have to look for that one
Really
too
cool.
now.
It's about like the beginning
Yeah.
all the way back.
That's a Netflix one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's
a really fun one.
my
too.
list keeps growing. That's the thing. The worst part about having any streaming thing, especially when you have like 4 or 5 different streaming things,
Oh yeah.
is you spend more time like, oh, okay, I watch that. Oh, I watch that. Yeah, okay.
No, you gotta give yourself a schedule of shows, and you gotta stick with it. You can't be jumping around.
So for me, I binge watch.
Same
So
here.
if I get to the point where I'm actually sitting, I will pick a show and I have to watch that entire series. I will not watch anything else while I'm watching this series. So like Sopranos, that was me.
Yeah, I remember you.
I
going
sat
through that
down,
one, Yeah.
and every time I sat down, it was Sopranos, and it sucked because like I can't watch that around the kids.
Right.
And so I want to spend time with my kids, but then when they're zoning out on their electronics or they're playing with each other, then it's like, all right, Dad's gonna slip away. This is my time, this is Soprano time. And it got to be where like we'd have a game day and people come over and I'm just like, Sopranos.
I'm like, you cramming in my Soprano time.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with binge watching. I'll sit down, turn it on.
Oh, see, yeah, I'm not like that. I'm very much into the show, especially if it's anything mafia oriented.
I'll be
I'm
into
very
it.
much.
I'll be into it, but I'm just as soon as what's the meme? How to fall asleep in an easy chair? Be old and sit in an easy chair.
Okay, so
You
Sopranos.
need to watch shows standing up, maybe.
Yeah.
That way you can.
Favorite character in Sopranos?
Paulie Walnuts.
Tony for me.
I mean,
Paulie is.
Tony.
I like Paulie.
Paulie, all day.
I love Steve Sharippa's character.
Yep.
No, not Steve. The guy from Bruce
yeah, from the
Springsteen.
band.
I really like his character.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Dead
Yeah,
Air.
hit the pump door.
The two guys that survived the entire
Right.
series.
Yeah, I like
I
him
like
too.
Big
But I
Pussy.
was
Did he survive?
Yeah, he did. They all did.
Paulie was
He was in
my
the hospital.
favorite.
He was in Paulie Walnuts. My favorite too. I mean,
Paulie-
Tony is overall. He's got he's the most developed character.
Yeah, although they did a good job developing the nephew too.
For me, I was so invested in the show that I got pissed off at Tony when he was
God.
treating Paulie like crap over his nephew.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on!
I like it when Tony finds the picture of remember when the horse Paimai.
Yes.
He threw her away, and then Paulie took it and had him make him like a
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What is this?" He's like, "It's you." He's like, "It's not for you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like that guy. Oh, I
His-
love him.
His support staff was probably one of the best in TV.
Great writing.
They were good. They were, but yeah, just to see, I still can't think of his name, the guitar player for
Stevie Van Zandt.
Stevie Van Zandt. To see him in that role and not realize for probably the first 2 or 3 seasons who he was, and then you find out it's little Stevie Van Zandt because you see him with the bandana on because he's bald as a.
Oh yeah, that's a
cute.
bad rug
He's
got on.
bald as a cute. Well, that's part of the compared to Paulie, whose hair is great. But that's part of the shtick with him is the rug. But then to see him and realize it's the same guy playing guitar like that, you're like, what? Wait, who picked him? That's awesome casting.
Yeah. No, it truly is.
Best casting in television. I'm not sure who looked at Stevie Van Zandt and went, he could be a mob guy. I suppose, yeah, you look at him and go, yep, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But when you see him on stage, he doesn't look anything like that.
Yeah.
So, and he's doing something way different than he does on TV. So,
Yeah, he's not killing people.
right. Although, did he ever kill
Yes.
anybody on the show?
Yes,
I know
he did.
Paulie did. Paulie took out what's her name?
Yeah, he killed. Yeah, no.
Who she knew was
No,
coming.
he
too.
killed. No, Paul didn't kill her.
I
No,
thought he
it
did.
was Stevie Van Zandt who killed her.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah,
I
remember
have
he
to
took
watch
her.
it.
He's like Christopher got hit,
Yeah.
and then he OD'd, and then he's taking her.
Yeah. Well, because they knew she was a rat.
Yep.
And then when Tony killed Christopher, it's like you could see how it hurt him to do it, but he's still such a psychopath that he's able to get over it in a heartbeat.
Wait, whoa. Who's a psycho?
Yeah, psychopath. Different than a psycho.
See, you know what I love about The Sopranos? Watching it over again, that I love watching the technology that they had then.
Oh yeah,
You know, like the cell
yeah.
phones.
Yeah, the flip phones and the.
You know, and the car. You know, and like it's
The
just
payphones?
I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't that long ago, but it's still like how
You
much.
can't even find a payphone anymore.
No.
It's like, go here, call me on the payphone.
Yeah.
Where?
Kids nowadays are like, what?
Well,
What's a
that's,
payphone?
that was right about the time burner phones were starting to become a thing.
Yeah.
So they use that a lot too, but it's just like,
Again, thank you, Mafia, for burner phones.
yeah, thank you for giving us that.
Thank you, Boost Mobile, for being the drug dealer choice of phone.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, if you had somebody had a pager, you're pretty sure what business they might be in. Then there's a flip phone.
Hey, well, it depends. See, now we're talking about pages. Now we're dealing into my little world.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I grew up, and we all had beepers. That was
Yeah.
the thing, when I was in grammar school. We all had beepers.
Yeah, because you had to be in contact with
You
your
had
parents.
who's beeping? Your mom to come home? I mean,
Yep.
it was so
No, it was Big
dumb.
Tony.
Big
But that
Tony.
was the whole thing. You had to have a beeper. That was we rocked.
I gotta go get a
The
couple
Motorola,
things.
Motorola Flex. That was the
Yep.
one I had.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because in South Dakota they didn't really do that. That was.
I had beeper
Did you
right
have a beeper?
before they went out of style.
Yeah. See, and I don't remember beepers being
See,
a big thing in Minnesota.
I have that talent where I do stuff before it's in style
Or after.
or after. And either way, I'm a loser.
That's kind of the way it is for me with women. What was that movie with was it Ryan Gosling or Ryan Reynolds where he'd meet a woman and then the next person that she met was the one she married?
No, that was actually it was Good Luck Chuck.
Yeah, but who was the played Chuck?
And
Dak Shepard maybe?
Nope.
Or- Oh, anyway, that was me for a long time in the.
Can't even think his name.
Early
And I'm actually a
2000s.
big fan. He's a comedian.
It's not Dak Shepard. Oh,
no,
it's
it's not.
but I know who you're talking.
Jim Gaffigan.
No,
Artie Lang.
Nope.
no, it's the younger guy.
Dane Cook.
There you go. Thank you. Yes, because he was actually the best part of the movie about the employee of the month.
Oh yeah.
I like Dane Cook in that, and then actually because he was the schmarm.
That whole cast was
Yeah.
great. And I don't even
Was
care
it
for Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson. She
And-
was really good in that.
Yeah.
Where am I?
I don't know. Where are you? Have you not seen this movie?
No, I have not.
How dare you?
haven't
This
seen
is an
it?
83 one.
No, it's
It's a Dane Cook thing, I think.
They're working at basically Sam's Club.
It's no,
Yeah,
I
it's-
know,
it's-
I know,
yeah.
I know the premise. I've seen it. It's just Dane Cook for some
It's-
reason just
No,
doesn't.
No, he's good in this though, and it's weird that he's good in this.
He had that very short stint of popularity.
Yeah, he did.
And he did a few movies, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And then
This-
he really didn't. He kind of
and
just dropped off.
Honestly, I think that Employee of the Month was his peak
Mhm.
movie.
The only time I've seen him, to tell you the truth, has been in the movie Waiting.
I'm trying to remember that one.
Oh, that
He
was.
plays like a really
Yes.
a-hole, like
He was
line
one of the
cook.
cooks,
He was a
yes.
line cook.
Oh yes.
He was-
That's with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, he was so
Yes.
gross
and
in
the
that.
and the
And that-
Parmesan cheese,
And listen, us coming from the Outback world, we were all service when the
which
movie
is
came out.
basically where that was set.
It is exactly
Yeah.
like that in a restaurant. Believe it or not, all
I believe it.
all those shenanigans
Yeah.
that have
Just a
happened
minute,
there.
we'll get the special sauce.
No, not like that. No, that. I mean,
Yeah. I know.
that really doesn't really happen.
No, I know. I worked in
However,
Flavors?
everything else, like
Oh,
all the
yeah.
perversion, all that is completely true.
See,
to the
that's
T.
that's my favorite Ryan Reynolds area. I mean, granted, I love Deadpool and I like some of the other things he's done, but when he was doing Waiting
Mhm.
and Van Wilder and all these just sort of cheapy movies,
Or the
God.
series, like Two Guys.
or
in a
two
Row.
guys, a girl, and a pizza joint, which I think it was a great Saturday Night Live sketch where they were talking about, you know what happened to the two guys, you know what happened to the girl, whatever happened to the pizza joint. And they do a documentary style skit about the
On
pizza
that
joint.
show.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, it was funny.
But what happened to Saturday Night Live? They used to be so good.
They're
Okay, I just saw a sketch
All right, come on.
last weekend with
Elon Musk.
is it Michael Keegan Keel?
Oh yeah, he was on last
Key?
week. Yep, Michael Key. Or
Okay.
Michael, yeah.
He did this. There was one with the Muppets and the hecklers. You know the hecklers.
Yeah.
You mean
Up
the
in the top.
you mean the balcony? The
Yes.
two little guys? Yes.
Okay, so Kermit's on the stage and he's doing his thing and they're heckling him, and him and kind of the chubby guy.
Horatio Sands.
No, he's not on anymore.
So that's how much I
Keenan Wayne.
Keenan, yeah.
Keenan.
Him and Key were security guards.
The guy who's been
And
on
so
the
they
show.
came in and they're just yelling at him like, "Hey, knock it off!" And so finally, when they've had it enough, he comes in and he just gets real athletic. He's like, "You have the right to leave." And they start to heckle again. He's like, he raises his voice and says it again. And then finally, he just comes up there and just starts beating the snot out of one of them. And he comes up with just swollen purple eyes.
The show really.
That was good.
The show is really hit or miss. About the best part of the show anymore is the news.
I think it's the cast. When the cast is really golden.
But when has the cast been golden? I don't remember a golden cast. Not since the late 90s.
Yep.
The Anthony Michael Hall era. That might have been their best era.
Awful.
What
the Colin Quinn era?
That's the season that they don't show, is the Anthony Michael Hall season. They don't show that one anymore. It's just
I'd say my favorites were Dana Carvey.
I like Dana
Love
Carvey.
Dana
Of course.
Carvey. Bill Murray.
Bill
Dan
Murray,
Aykroyd.
That first cast.
Those guys. Those were my three.
Farley?
favorites.
Chris
I
Farley?
like
Hello.
Farley,
Hello.
But those were my three favorites. I love Dana Carvey.
Adam Sandler was great on it.
I like it.
All
I
those
didn't get to see
90s.
a whole lot of that.
But that's the whole thing. Saturday Night Live back then was like amazing from the beginning. It started to the end. And now it's like,
I got to see the reruns. I got to see the old stuff when I grew up. So the stuff that was in the 90s wasn't really played a whole lot.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, but the only thing about Chris Farley that I ever really liked was I loved his little sketch with Patrick Swayze doing the Chippendale dancers. That was hilarious.
Yes.
And anytime he did his interviews, when he was doing the Paul McCartney one, remember that time when you said the love you make is equal to the love you take? That was awesome. That interview, when I first saw it, I was like, oh God, that is hilarious. Just that old, and Paul McCartney, I think, had no idea.
He was good, yeah.
He's like,
Sure.
what is this? And he did it a couple times, but otherwise I could give her, I didn't care much for him. I didn't like John Belushi that well either, though, honestly.
What?
I know.
What?
I was more of a Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd kind of guy.
Oh, yeah. Chevy.
I liked Belushi in Animal House. I liked him in
Blues Brothers. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Blues
actually
Brothers,
liked him.
come on.
I
yes.
liked him in Neighbors, which I don't know if you ever saw that. It was Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. It's terrible. It's
What,
based on-
1943?
I liked him in 43, although he wasn't in it that much. He was good, but it was a Steven Spielberg movie more than a John Belushi movie. But Neighbors, if you get a chance, it's Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, and it's just dark and weird. I want to say it's based on a book by the same guy who did Fight Club.
Okay.
Chuck Pasaic or whatever his name is. It's just an odd movie. And I remember going to see it in the theater and going, what the hell am I watching? And then the spy one that he did with Chevy Chase, that was really weird.
Fletch?
Yeah. No, I love Fletch.
Oh, Fletch was
No,
Oh, no, not Fletcher. I'm thinking about
Spies Like Us.
Spies Like Us, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if you ever
Where
watch,
they were not supposed to be spies.
no, but if you ever watch Family Guy,
Yeah.
they do a takeoff on
Oh.
Spies Like Us. It's hilarious.
I like Spice Like Us.
It was okay.
It's a good
classic.
It was okay, but it was one of those where it's just like, well, they're just putting these two guys who really didn't like each other very well together, and they should have probably been.
Oh, you mean like U.S. and Russia? Yeah.
Well,
you're
it should have
right.
probably been Aykroyd instead of Chevy Chase. Would have been a better movie, but yeah. So because Chevy Chase or Aykroyd and Belushi got along. I don't think wasn't that Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd?
That's a-
Spies Like Us.
Spies Like Us. Yeah, you're right. No, you're
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah, it was. And I don't think Chevy Chase liked anybody very much.
No, and I've
That's-
heard that. Is
He's
he-
a dude.
Yeah.
Well, now he's. I
Which
mean,
I always wanted to meet him, and then when I started hearing, I'm like, I don't know if I want to meet him.
Stern. I used to listen to Stern quite a lot. And yeah, they had a feud for a long time, and they he came to the show and they kind of pieced it up, but Stern used to talk some smack about
Oh, yeah.
Chevy Chase for
I
a
used
while.
to work in radio years and years ago, and our
Let me hear your
network-
voice. Let me hear your call
It's
letters.
basically this is it.
Give me the call
KJJQ. But no, we used to.
Tone it up. Come on.
One more time.
I didn't do it any
Come on.
different than that.
Go on to
I
commercial
still-
break.
I do
Do
remember.
the Jim Thomas. Come on.
I can't.
We're going to commercial break. Go.
I do. All I remember is one time we went to country music, and so my dad loved a song called "The White Sport Coat and a Pink Carnation." So I found a copy of the record, and I decided to play it for him. And so I come out of the record and go, "There's what's his name playing? White sport coat and pink carnation, wax and wax, stacks and blacks." And this is a joke. I did it going into the commercial break, and my boss comes running into the studio after the commercial started. And says, "God, that was great! You need to do that all the time." And I went, "No effing way am I doing this all the time. It'd kill my voice, first of all, and second of all, it's stupid. It just was a joke coming out of the song because it was from the 50s, and I just did it that way." Anyway, but our network at the time was NBC. So when we were not running the news, it was the feed from WNBC. And in the mornings, we had Don Imus. And in the afternoons, we
You
had
had
Howard
Stern, baby.
And I used to work the afternoon shift, so I'd be sitting there with my pot down and the music playing and my headphones on, listening to Howard Stern between my sets on the air. It was great. The other thing was on Sunday nights, we had Dr. Ruth
Oh yeah.
And so my thought was, if I ever decided I was just going to get out of radio just to get out of it, I was going to sit there on a Sunday night and just go, and get to be 7 o'clock or whatever time your show started, and just pop that up, walk out of the
Just
studio.
leave. Just fill
At that
air.
time, this was like 1981 or 82, or no, probably 84. It was about 84. That would not have flown in South Dakota. Not Dr. Ruth, even though she was on TV pretty regularly and stuff. But the topics that she talked about on the radio at that point were not. This is pre-NYPD Blue and, you know, showing butts on TV and saying the word bitch a bunch of times, or if you were a South Park fan, saying the S word a bunch of times and counting it.
South Park must have been fun when it came out here in South Dakota.
What came out? I mean,
was it banned like at first? You know, like, no,
it was on.
no.
Was it on? Not MTV. It was on
Comedy
Comedy Central. Yeah, no, it was on. It was fine. And I actually used to let my kids watch it until, well, because by the time that it got really raunchy, they were old enough to, I didn't care. The funniest part.
Here, if you had Comedy Central, you had the big package of cable.
You did. Yeah. The funniest thing is, I went and saw the South Park movie when it came out.
That's great.
Which had that whole.
It's a musical.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
It was hilarious. So I went and bought it, but I didn't want my kids to know I bought it. So I hid it. And one day I come home, and all of a sudden my kids are sitting down like this, and whatever I heard the TV change over to something, and I went, "What are you watching?" Nothing. We're watching whatever cartoon show they were watching. I said, "Okay." So I walked over to the VCR and popped it out, and sure enough, it was South Park, the movie. Just don't tell your mom. Just don't tell your mom.
So here's the problem. He hid the movie where he hides his porn, and they knew already where to look for that.
They had
And they found this.
It was almost like disappointing. It's like,
South Park.
Like, what is this?
Why do you assume I hide my porn?
Wow. I know. Your cats are at home right now using it.
Yeah,
It's like surveillance for it. Like,
you know,
drones, protecting the.
Why is it all tore up, guys?
Protecting the collection.
It's kind of scary. But no, but they found it.
It's true. He never said it wasn't true. He just said it was scary.
Right. I didn't say it wasn't true. But no, I'd hidden it pretty well. But they must have heard. I must have said something that they heard to my brother or somebody that I had it. And they found it and they watched it.
As he leaves the house, well, I really hope those kids don't watch South Park, which is hidden underneath my bed.
Yeah. No, and then of course I think I caught him right on the Uncle song. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So like I said, my only comment to him was just don't tell your mom.
You may finish.
You can watch the rest of it. I don't care, but don't tell your mom.
But rewind because I want to watch it again.
Yep, I want to watch it. It's a pretty funny movie. The whole Saddam Hussein.
Genius. Those guys are genius.
Oh my God.
I like their movie. Another movie.
That was Trey Parker. Right?
Trey Parker and Trey Stone and Matt Parker.
Yeah.
And the funniest movie they've ever done is Orgasmo, which is hilarious.
Oh yes.
I also
my email is from that movie, for crying out loud.
I also
DVDA Frank is my email. And people would always ask me, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, I like DVDs a lot because of DVDA."
Yeah. I also like.
We won't say what that means. Basketball is great.
One of the better movies out there. And God, what else?
My floor needs some buffing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're sick and twisted, but hilarious. So.
And Basketball came out before South Park even launched, so that was. And
that was their first movie. Orgasmo actually, I think, came out either right before or right as South Park launched.
What was Orgasmo's sidekick?
I cannot remember.
Chota Boy.
That's right. Well, and the best
what was the
part
villain? What was the villain? What was the?
I swear, you guys, 15 or 16 more times, and I am out of here.
Like I say, I cannot remember.
Method Man. Remember the guy?
Yeah.
Fart and pushing.
Yeah, I remember that. But
just you got a sweet, pretty sweet ass.
They absolutely, for some reason, just hate the Mormons, and because I mean, Book of Mormon, obviously, that's just an entire parody of Mormonism, and it's just what do they have against Mormonism?
I thought they were Mormons.
I don't think either one of them was. I think I think
maybe they are. Maybe
I think they are because they made the movie Cannibal.
Only if we have them.
That is their first movie, actually. Cannibal.
I don't remember.
It's a movie they did like in college. It's about like these Mormons, like missionaries, are like exploring
so
like
it's
Utah.
Basically,
and then they get attacked by these cannibals. It's like and it's like it's almost like a musical too.
Okay.
Yeah,
they do like the musicals.
Yeah, look it up because I think it's
Team America.
Matt Parker, Trey Stone.
Another good one.
That's one of my favorites.
I love it when they do the surgery on the guy.
Dr. Dre.
And he's like, remember they botched it, so he's like, it looks uncanny.
Matt Parker and Trey Stone.
You're gonna get the whole. You're gonna get.
Well,
Like Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Matthew Richard Stone is an
Yeah,
American
Matt Stone,
actor,
Richard Parker.
voice actor,
Or Trey
animator, writer, producer, and composer.
And composer.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. So let's go to Wikipedia and see if he is a
Mormon.
Mormon. Yeah.
Well, just getting.
Well, I
You
don't
guys,
know.
you guys can continue talking. I'll look.
All right.
To all that.
So what do you really think about Tom's mustache?
It's an awesome mustache.
It's got a lot of volume for
It
sure.
does.
There's many layers to it.
It's starting to come in just the way I like it.
It's starting to come in. He's been growing it for 50 some years, but it's starting to come in.
I can imagine Tom like just laying in a
Second film was-
warm beach coast, just kind of like, like
I
hanging.
feel like with all the jewelry, he's missing like a gold chain with that shirt.
Yeah,
I
you
do
do
need
have
that.
some bling.
I do.
You got a little Italian thing going on here. You gotta get a little pinky ring.
I don't like pink earrings.
No?
So they wrote their second film, Orgasmo, in 1997, before the premiere of the film South Park premiered on Comedy Central. So Orgasmo actually started.
It was first, huh?
Yep, Orgasmo is their second film.
Okay.
But I don't know if it says what their first one was. Team America World Police was the last one.
This will probably be like the early career.
So that's what I was looking for, early life. Houston, Texas.
Jewish heritage.
Yeah, and I don't know,
Huh.
maybe let's look at, because Trey Parker's in here too, so let me see if I can find him. Oh, come on. Where's Trey Parker?
This is great.
This is awesome. Awesome.
You're doing great backward.
Yeah, that's what I do.
The guys in the studio just told me that.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Why does it not give me anything about Trey
Yeah.
Parker?
Okay. His mustache is fake. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is
We're
not.
gonna cut Tom's mic off. Got it.
There's Trey Parker. Okay, let's see what it says about him. Born October 1969, American actor, voice actor, creating South Park, Book of Mormon.
There it is. Cannibal.
Yeah.
Whoa. The film guy knew it.
1993. That was a while ago.
The
Holy
two
smokes.
collaborated on various short films and starred in the feature-length musical Cannibal, the musical. Let's see what it says about him.
Gold,
Yep.
baby.
I don't even know why you asked Google. You should have just asked him.
We should have just taken his word for it.
Well, I did. You're the one that wanted to prove him wrong.
No, I just want to see if they were Mormons. That's
You're like, you know what? Not happening. Google knows more than Frankie.
Hey, listen.
Turns out-
Speaking of Google, I Googled the address here. I got an address in Sioux Falls,
That's typical.
north, like by like Rice Street.
That's my house. So that's where Average Joe started.
God.
But here's the problem with
Yeah.
Google. Okay, Google won't let me change my address
Why not?
because it's stupid.
You're gonna call them.
I have.
What do they say?
If I want to place an ad, then I can call them. Otherwise, they have to do this postcard thing. Well, the problem is this does not have an actual mailing address. So you have to have a postal address or a PO box or whatever. So the problem with that is there is no additional spot. There's basically physical address and then nothing else. So there is no PO box. There's no optional secondary mailing address, but it says there's other options, but you can't get to them. So I created a whole separate one, which says Average Joe's Gaming and Hobby Store, which gives this address. But if you see just Average Joe's Gaming, that's just my house. If you want to stalk me, I guess. I'm never there. So
He'll be here, so stalk him here.
yeah, I mean,
Would it have been easy to just change the name of the store?
yeah, I even I even asked to close that account. Like, hey,
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
not.
exist.
Yeah, it's not a thing anymore. I put in requests numerous times and nothing. Like, that is the worst part about the Google portion of that. Is like, I feel like it's broken right
Well,
there.
they'll
Like,
lose
there's so many things they
advertising.
can help you with, but then when you need to fix something, it's like,
See, there's gotta be a way around because we had a little bit of a similar issue at Rome because the district that's next to Rome used to be one entity.
mhm.
They used to run the venue and then run the restaurant. So when we came in, it got separated. So district is one thing and Rome is another. It's still in the same physical building, but we needed two addresses because they're 4125.
Right.
And we're 41, whatever so they had to they did something there that.
Well, I could get the postcard if the gym guys didn't keep throwing it away.
So we're not friends with those guys?
Well,
I-
eventually he's probably going to be owning the building.
we gotta
So
talk to these guys. 'Cause
I know the owner
we
of
gotta
the
smack
guy,
him around a little
but
bit?
it's one
What's
of those
going on?
things where his customer base not so friendly.
Huh, really?
See, I don't know if you know this, but with jocks and nerds,
That's not true. That's not true because I go to CrossFit Bible.
Oh,
And-
he's our first nerd jock.
Stop. I go to
I was
CrossFit.
a nerd jock for years. You know that. When I first met you, how did I used to show up on Fridays usually?
Full spandex.
Doing push-ups?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was like bike
Softball,
suits.
softball uniform.
Yeah, when he said he was a biker, I thought, like biker. No, full 10 speed.
No, I was,
yeah?
I was a
Spandex.
softball player. I played softball for a whole bunch of years. When I first met you, we'd come over on a Friday after softball, and I always had the uniform on. So, I was sort of a jock, sort of, kind of. I mean, I played.
Okay, I'm talking like muscle.
No, I'm not that.
Muscle guy or girl.
Hell no.
Or person.
I'm not a muscle guy at all, but I'm telling you, this gym is very, very, very no ego. It's very, very cool.
Well, it's getting better. The nerdy culture is more accepted than it was when I was growing up. Like, I grew up a nerd. I grew up a loser.
Oh, stop.
Now it's nerdy is cool because it's more accepted by everybody.
Sure.
And so I'm still a loser, but,
No,
but
yeah.
I'm like the king loser in my realm.
But that's the whole thing. See, like in Jersey, when I used to go to gyms there, you would have that stereotype of people being just like,
The meatheads, basically.
yeah, just being, it's not very, very approachable. But like I said, CrossFit Bible is none of that. It's just
Well, the guy that owns Coast to Coast is awesome, dude. I've met him several times, and he's okay with my nerdiness. Like, he was asking my boss. My boss is actually the one that owns this building. And so he was asking, he's like, so what's the deal? Like, they had their door open, and there's kind of weird stuff going on in there. We're like, what are they doing? He's like, it's like a nerd cave or something like that. He's like, I don't really get it. And he's like, oh, okay. Whatever.
And yet his mom has been to about every game day we've had for the last couple months, or a few months.
we'll nerd them out. So
Yeah. She's usually there for the food, though.
Well, yeah, but she hangs out.
Yeah.
She hangs. She hangs.
She can hang, huh?
We can get her into a game, I bet you, if she comes over here.
See, and I personally want to get Frankie into a game.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to play a game of Regatta
Oh, yeah, yeah,
or a
yeah.
game of Godfather. Do that.
Yeah.
Regatta you probably would like, so we'll have to give you a try on that one.
All right.
So do you play any tabletop games for your kids?
No. I mean, my kids are to the point that no, not yet. Not yet. So I'm
What are their
trying-
ages?
3, almost 4, and 1.5.
Oh man, they actually make games for that.
For those ages, yeah.
Yeah, they make great games. They're Hava games, and they're games that allow you to all interact on the table. I mean, it's something that'll keep the interest of mom and dad, but it's also something that will keep the interest of little kids.
Huh.
And so they're called My First Games.
Hmm.
And so you've got ones that are like construction crews. You've got ones where you like feed a bear. You're rolling dice. You're matching stuff. They're learning. They don't know they're learning. They're having
Right.
fun, but
Huh.
it is. They're learning
Interesting.
numbers, counting, shapes, hand-eye coordination, all kinds of stuff. And they have games that range from 0 up to a full-blown
For
adult
adults,
game.
yeah. I mean, Hava Games
yeah.
has really good adult games too, so.
Cool.
That's how I got my youngest daughter.
Yeah,
into
no,
board games. And now
it's-
she's 6 years old and she loves games.
Angelina's very she's awesome at puzzles. She's super fast at it. She's like just taking it in. So yeah, that's not a bad.
She like unicorns.
She likes everything now.
Oh, see.
She's in that age that everything she's like.
My daughter loved unicorns just from out of the gate. She's like, I love anything that's got a horn on it. So we went to narwhals. We got unicorns. I mean,
cool.
there's just tons of stuff. And they have a special game that's called Unicorn Glitter Luck, and it's just rolling dice and you
Glitter.
yeah.
Is it glitter all over the place?
No,
Thank
it's just the
Glitter's-
unicorn's name is Glitter Luck.
Glitter is very.
It's a no-no, right?
Yeah.
My wife says she's allergic to glitter.
Smart woman.
So it's you just roll your dice and you've got clouds and you're racing basically the end. When you're done with the game, you flip the board over and there's rows of each one of the colors, and then you put your gems on there, and then that's how they see who got the most gems. So it's really user friendly, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Clever.
Trust me,
Yeah.
I got tons of games for all ages.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta, once my wife said works in a school, when she's done, we can definitely bring the kiddos.
Yeah. Nerd you out, nerd her out, nerd the kids out.
Yep.
Get Ron in here, nerd him out.
Yeah, we're game.
Yeah.
Wow.
What kind of stuff does Ron like other than pets?
Ron is Ron's done a little bit of everything, but Ron is he's a Wing Chun Kung Fu master.
So I saw that in one of your guys' videos.
Yeah, Ron is.
And I kind of want to see that demonstrated on Tom.
No, we don't.
No, we do.
He really focused more like in the Zen part of it, you know.
Good, yes.
But he's a great teacher. He's got
That top man.
great
Just
family.
unleash the beast.
He's got students that come here to South Dakota to train with him. You know,
Oh, wow.
For his weekend. So yeah, so he's gone to China. He's done the whole thing. He's very, very into the Zen thing. So it's really, really cool.
But he's not about messing somebody up, right?
Man, you know, he's
I think he is. It sounds like he is.
Ron's from Nutley, New Jersey, and that is as Jersey as you get as far as like Italian and Jersey. And Ron's seen like a few things for sure.
Yeah.
He's seen a few things.
I'd love to talk to you.
We'll get along, man, for sure. For sure.
Oh, that'd be fun.
He's got some great stories. He was a fishing guide in Florida as well for many years. His father was a fisherman, so they moved to Florida and they did a bunch of fishing there. And he's telling me stories about his dad capsizing his boat, like all this crazy stuff. And he was a fishing guide as well. So yeah, no, it's
Wow.
He's seen a lot of things. It's definitely this interesting conversation.
Well, both of you guys together are just an interesting crew.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun just hearing your stories and just listening to you talk. So you're never going home.
This podcast.
I apologize.
For another couple hours. So.
Let's do it.
Well, I think that we'll let you go home for tonight.
Awesome.
But next weekend, not this coming one, but the following weekend,
Yeah.
you'll be my captain.
Yeah, we'll be here.
For a few hours. And then captain again on Monday.
Yeah.
So
It'll be fun. It'll be a good
it will.
We're looking forward to it.
So you're got a busy weekend ahead of you. We'll let you get some rest. Until next time, I'm Joe.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Frank. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.